Hi, this is Jamie Escalante with Literal Style. I'm introducing rape culture. We're gonna do this in 3 segments. There's way too much information to go into, in just like a 15-minute increment here, which is my time limit. So, moving fast today. Today we're just gonna talk about how rape culture is controversial, and I want to talk about why that is. So, why do we have polarized views? How just kind of throw some ideas out there as to why we might experience that in 2018. And then also, this is important because in this specific series, rape culture, and then also in what I'm going to be doing this whole year, we're going to need to be able to look at controversial issues and think about them critically without being offended, without just kind of pushing them off to the side, without going into with any specific sort of bias. And so this has to happen. Pretty much, this specific introduction needs to take place. We need to think about why there's so much polarization. We need to think about meaning and where we get it from, because really rape culture is just 2 words, right? So we have 2 words: rape, culture. 2 words, but man, are there different opinions? Man, do people react differently to these 2 words? And why is that, right? Semantics, meaning. So let's look at the rape culture lie, 0 Shades of Grey by Heather Wilhelm. She states that rape statistics are incorrect. Rape culture, according to Wilhelm, and I quote, "in other words, is an idea that swings, cocky and unhinged from media and campus chandeliers. It dodges logical bullets, performs backflips around statistical cannonballs, waltzes right through ground-leveling factual nuclear bombs. Much like an Olympic diver, it's an idea that easily slices clean and quiet into the crevices of supple brains." There you go, Wilhelm. She's stating rape culture is brainwashing, right? She says it backflips around statistical cannonballs. No facts, right? Not a proponent of, these 2 words, whatever they mean to her. She's not buying it. In her article, she states that the term first appeared in 1974 in a handbook on rape for women. Let's move on. Second article that I want to show is actually an empirical exploration into the measurement of rape culture. So this is actually a study published recently, September 2017, by Nicole Johnson and Don Johnson. They lend validity to the term. So they look at the 2 words, rape culture, and they say, okay, let's check that out. Rape, happens. And let's see if there's some validity to this phrase. They realize that not many people have looked into it, empirically. Let's do that. Really liked this study. I liked the other article too. Thought it was fascinating. Liked this study, and I'm going to tell you why I brought that up now. The sources that they used had consistent themes, and they covered about a 30-year time frame. I liked that very much. It wasn't just all recent theory or thought pertaining to rape culture, and they actually quoted sources back to 1980 all the way up to 2000, present day. So that was really helpful for me. Their sources and their documentation also show that there was similar themes and thoughts with regards to rape culture, beginning at that time period to present day. So it's interesting. The model that they used was the one that was, quote, first proposed in 1980 and expanded in the 1990s in an effort to quantify rape myth acceptance. The model posits that 5 underlying components make up a rape culture: traditional gender roles, sexism, adversarial sexual beliefs, hostility towards women, and acceptance of violence. Okay? Very different from what Wilhelm said, right? Wilhelm said rape culture doesn't exist, statistics are incorrect, and it's brainwashing. Johnson say, we're going to look at this. They're, traditional gender. Let's look at it and see what we find. Okay, so moving forward. How do we get such different opinions on 2 words, right? So these words, rape culture, people are inferring different meanings, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. People are thinking different things when they hear these words. One thinks brainwashing. The other thinks, like this is the model of rape culture. Let's check it out. Let's see. Okay, so other people think, yeah, like that exists. How does this happen? Like, how do we have just two words that mean different things? This obviously is a broad topic. I mean, we can go into, meaning. Where does meaning come from? We can go into linguistics. There are so many different avenues and ways we can go. For the purpose of this and for the coming year, I'm going to introduce you to Paul Ricoeur, Christian French philosopher. He introduced the phrase hermeneutics of suspicion, which he says is an interpretive framework through which people can question reality, right? So things aren't really as they seem. And the three philosophers that kind of fall under this heading for him are Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Sigmund Freud. We're only going to talk about the first two today. Freud will mention, but we're not going into detail. We're actually not going into detail with Marx or Nietzsche either. Come on, that would take a while. I'm giving you a brief overview. Marx, 1818-1883, so remember the date, says reality is found in material conditions of life, which we see really manifest in his ideas regarding communism, which, we're not going there at this point. I don't endorse communism, and I'm not talking about that right now. He also says that the things we create end up ruling us. Okay, he says fetishism, like our desires are projected onto objects which we own, which we wish to own or possess. So it's not really, when we have a fetish for something, it's not really the object we want. Our desire is being projected onto that object, right? So he talks about consumerism. He talks about being ruled by something else. Like there's something else going on. When we're working for other people, he says things we create end up ruling us. When we're working for other people, what really ends up happening is that we become ruled, right, by like a society or the man, the people who own things. We need to question these ideas and consumerism and why we want the things that we want, and are things really, what they seem. Friedrich Nietzsche, 1844-1900. Again, the dates are important. His famous question, what is truth, right? It says that words are a mobile army of metaphors. Words are illusions that we forgot were illusions, okay? Nietzsche also had a scathing critique of Christians, which we're, again, don't have time to go into right now. But Nietzsche questioned language a lot, like where Marx was questioning, just reality and ideas, and, said that everything's based in, material, as opposed, material conditions, and there's something like matrix type stuff. And Nietzsche says that words can't be trusted, language can't be trusted, that we hear a sound, let's use truth, truth, right, that sounds like something to you, and we hear truth, and then we assign it to this word, like these letters, and then everyone just agrees that that sound is attached to this specific meaning and is assigned to those letters, and everyone just agrees. So it actually doesn't really mean that. We just agree that it means that. Okay? And then we have World War I, 1914, 1918. So after Marx and Nietzsche. And we have World War I, the First World War. What people's ideas of safety are taken away here, right? People's ideas of even what are right or wrong are really challenged during this time, right? Like, I mean, everything's kind of being turned upside down. What are the implications of this? Like, how does this affect people? Those who survived World War I. What might happen? And I want to look specifically at language and meaning and reality here, because that's what we're talking about with rape culture and words specifically. So let's look at Ulysses by James Joyce, okay? If you have never read it. I'm not going to recommend it to you, but I will encourage you to take a look at it and form your own opinion as to what he's doing, what questions he's raising, the implications, whether or not it's right, whether or not it's wrong. Let's look at some of what we find in his book, Ulysses. So this is a sentence right here. It says crush, crack, crick, crick. Okay, that's a sentence in his book. It's 4 words separated by commas ending with a period. Okay. Disguises, over here now. Clutched at, gone, not here. Again, phrases separated by commas ending with a period. Another one. The ship, 12:30. 2 words, comma, 2 words, period. Okay. These are not sentences. Are they? Right? That's the question Joyce is asking. Are they? Or aren't they? Let's look at some words from his episode 3 in Ulysses. It's Proteus. So we have an IPAs on this side, so this is phonetics, and then on the left we have the actual words. We have snot-grain, acadolactic, strand entwining, bright wind bridle, dring dring. These are not words, right? These are not words. Let's look over here. Abstrusiosities, trip pant, shell cocoa colored, Raleigh, FIFA fun. Do you see what he's doing? So we're coming from, I'm going to go back. We're coming from, we're at Nietzsche, Marx, questioning reality. Are things really what they are? Words don't have any meaning. World War I, just like the aftermath here. And then we have this sort of in your face I'm hesitant to use the word manifesto. I could talk about Ulysses forever. If you want to talk about it, message me. So I have to be careful with how much I go into it. But what James Joyce is doing is he's challenging language. He's saying, yeah, words don't mean what they do. He's saying sentences don't even have to be that way. I can infer meaning into any word that I want, and using sentence structure, semantics, putting all those words together, you can have an idea of what I'm trying to say. Words don't have meaning. Okay, this is also reminiscent of the Jabberwocky, right? If you've ever read that Jabberwocky poem, 'twas brilling on the slithy groves did, gyre and gimble in the wave. None of those are words, right? But when you read it, you kind of get meaning, right? These are interesting questions. Interesting things to think about when we're talking about meaning and words and truth and what actually is. So, of course, it was backlash against Mark Nietzsche and Freud. Talking about Freud later. Okay, so why is this important? What we've just seen is really okay. So I put the obliteration of meaning and the power of ideas. Let's think about that though. Has meaning been obliterated, or has it been communicated in a different way? What about words though? Words hold meaning. When we look at the phrase rape culture, those words hold meaning. Okay, or do they? Are they what Nietzsche said? And they don't mean anything, right? They're just, everyone just agrees, right? Or is that really real? Even rape culture. When we look at the rape culture, I mean, this is where we are in 2017. Okay, this is a right? Like Aristotle, like is A really A? Like is an apple really an apple? These are questions that you would think are easy. They're really tough for a lot of people. And I wanted to actually bring up a recent Supreme Court case and a ruling regarding the Affordable Care Act in 2015. They quickly, I'm going to have to end it, look into that case. That is a genuine example of a Supreme Court ruling meaning words don't have meaning. Look into it. this is important to ask today.